Hello, I'm Leonardo Mackenzie from the Last Inklings, and in this series of videos I'm exploring playing and singing with the cello at the same time. So in the very first video I was mainly looking at drones, very simple introduction to making sure that you can sing and move your bow arm and then begin to bring in your left fingers independently, just a very simple introduction. This time round, no bow, I'm going to pizzicato, because I think this is one of the easiest ways to start to pick up playing with different rhythms. Now, for this, you're going to want to know how to start forming some chords, which isn't second nature to most cellists or violinists, for example. We generally play melodies. Thankfully, it's very simple because we're tuned in fifths. Now, last time I chose an Adele song as something just to give an example of moving notes, and we had the chords of C, G, A, although it was A minor, and F. I was just playing literally the notes from those chords, so ignoring any major or minor, just playing C, G, A and F. Now if I want to flesh those out into chords, and I can still ignore whether it's major or minor for now, all I need to do is bar my first finger, in this case, across the two strings in order to play the root note of the chord, which is the one that the chord is named after, and the fifth. So if I wanted to play a chord of C, the most simple chord, I could just play the C and G strings at the same time. That's the simplest version of a C chord. There's no major, no minor. It's just a very basic version. It's a C5. If I wanted to play a G chord, I could play the G and the D string because they're the adjacent strings. To play that A minor chord, or just an A chord because this has no flavour, I can bar the A on the G string and the E on the D string, just press that with the same finger, and playing both of those adjacent notes, next door notes, gives me something with an A tonality. And I can do the same thing on the F on the C string, barring just to its next door note, which is C on the G string. That's enough to give me the flavour of an F chord again. It's got no third in it this time, there's no major, no minor, it's just a basic F. And if you pluck between those two, in each pair, you automatically have something a little bit more fully realised than just playing those long drones. So we get, never mind, I'll find someone like you. And I'm just barring the string, in this case staying in first position for that F chord, using my little finger to bar the F and the C. Now an example of where I first learned this pattern came from Erin and her cello, and I believe she'd been called upon to play in a concert, and she thought it would be easier to play something and sing than to try and pull out a full solo, and she wrote this kind of pleasing little ditty that uses this kind of just little plucking pattern, just rocking backwards and forwards between two strings in a chord. She called it On My Stoop. Basically the chords, you've got a D chord. The simplest way to play that is to play a D string and an A string. They are both next door. You don't even need to use your left hand at all for that one. You have a G chord, which is just the G string and D string because they're adjacent notes, G being the lowest one of that chord. And you've got an A chord, which is just, again, barring the A and the E on the D string and just plucking backwards and forwards between the two. And you get, on my stoop I sit and think of you, wondering if you're thinking about me too. Just moving carefully between those little patterns. It's not so demanding that you won't be able to sing something over it. The constant repetition of just going backwards and forwards means that rhythmically you can begin to forget about that. But again, any song you might want to do that with, I would recommend playing along with the original and making sure you know how many counts that chord's going to last for. And the first thing I would practice is just counting out what you're going to play. So for example, in that Adele song, where I've got a C chord, G chord, A chord, F chord, I might start off just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Count that out loud a few times, just so I know how that accompaniment feels, how my fingers are going to pass between the strings before I add in, never mind, I'll find someone like you. and suddenly you've opened up another layer. To really practice this skill of just playing this oscillating pattern, I would find a four-chord song, and this is essentially a song in which the same four-chord pattern rolls around again and again and again. And the Axis have also actually put together a fantastic medley demonstrating that quite a few songs genuinely use this structure. Now, you could use something like B, F sharp, G, and a D. Now, you'll probably find yourself able to sing quite a lot of songs over just that progression alone. I don't like walking around this old and empty house, so hold my hand, I'll walk with you, my dear. And it's not about the money, money, money. We don't need the money, money, money. We just want to make the world dance. Forget about the price tag. Loads of things will fit over a progression like that. It's great because your fingers know where they're going to go next when you are practicing singing something and moving your hands at the same time. So my very quick reminder from this video, when you see a chord symbol above some lyrics, because that's probably the best place, something like Ultimate Guitar, to find some lyrics and chords to start with, we're only interested in the letter, not whether it's major or minor. Even if it says A-M, A minor, the A is the most important part. To create that chord on your cello, find really the lowest A that you can, which is going to be on the G string with the first finger in first position. And to flesh out that chord, the most simple way, just going to use that first finger to bar across and press two strings adjacent to each other in the same position. That means you're going to be pressing an A, and on the D string an E. And that is the most simple version of that A chord. It will work for most chords, granted there are some in a few key signatures that it will not quite sit, especially if you've got a diminished chord. But for now you'll probably find that will get you through.